Hey everybody, Joe Casabona here, and today I am going to show you how to set up a simple crowdfunding form using just Give WP and the block editor. And this is going to be similar to the one I've set up for WPYearInReview.com. These are Gutenberg blocks I'm using here, and then the support or pledge box is listed using Give WP. So if you need a little background on Give WP, they are a donation plugin for WordPress. And honestly, everything I'm going to show you how to do here, you can do with the free plugin. But I would strongly recommend considering their pricing plans, which will give you access to add-ons and support for a whole bunch of things like recurring donations and different payment gateways and things like that. So I'm a big fan of Give and the whole team, and I am excited to have an opportunity to use their plugin on my site. So I'm going to show you how to do the same thing. All right, so I am in a WordPress website. I'm running WordPress 5.5, but that should not matter. The first thing I'm going to do is go to Plugins, Add New, and I'm going to search for Give WP. That will show up as the first plugin here. There are several other Give related plugins, including a Give donations widget for Elementor. I happen to have Elementor installed here, but we are going to be using the block editor because Give also has great block editor support. So once it is installed, we'll click Activate, and then we will configure our payment gateways. So there are two payment gateways that Give support out of the box for free, and that is Stripe and PayPal. So if you click Connect with Stripe, it'll take you to Stripe's website, and you can sign in with your Stripe account. That's perfectly fine. They also have a Stripe Pro account if you'd like to do that. So I already have a Stripe account, so I'm going to go through the login process and do that real quick. And once I'm signed in and connected, it will give me some instructions to add a new Stripe webhook. So I'm going to highlight the URL given here. So I'll go ahead and click webhook section of your Stripe dashboard. Once I do that, I can paste the endpoint they've given. I also need to select events to send. They don't specify which one, so I'm going to click Receive All Events and click Add Endpoint. And now I have a new endpoint added here. So now Stripe has been connected, and then if I go to PayPal Standard, I can put in my PayPal address, and then we'll want to choose some information. So PayPal transaction type, donation or standard transaction. This is a crowdfunding campaign, so I'm going to change it to standard transaction. If you need billing details, you can turn that on. I will not. And then I'll keep the rest the same and click Save Changes. So once we have Stripe and PayPal configured, we can go to Gateways and make sure that they are turned on. Now, I'm also going to turn on test donation so that we can test our form without having to actually go through the payment process, which is absolutely fantastic. Test mode is also enabled here. So with that, we'll keep the default options the same. I'm going to go to donations, add form, and then we will walk through the settings here. So they have two different types of form templates. One is the multi-step donation, one is the legacy donation. Unless you have custom styling for the legacy donation, I would strongly recommend the multi-step donation form because it looks a lot nicer. Then we can add our introduction. So we can have this on or off. I would recommend having it on because it allows you to add a headline and description. For the cause, you can add an image. You can set the primary color if you'd like. I'll keep it at that green. And then we can change the donate button. I'm going to change it to pledge now. And the reason that I recommend you keep the step one introduction is because it'll show how much your goal is and the progress and things like that. So it'll encourage people to pledge. Step 2 is the payment amount. So again, this is the copy for that. I'm just going to keep the copy the same. The payment information, this is the copy. I'm going to keep the copy the same. I recommend that you customize it really based on your crowdfunding campaign. And then there's the thank you section. So I would recommend really personalizing this and adding some personality so that people feel good about pledging. One note is that you can't add any formatting here. So this is all just going to be a single line. So keep that in mind when you write the description. And then I would recommend the social sharing aspect too, encouraging people to share once they donate. So again, I'm not going to take time to write specific copy for this, but those are the 4 steps. I would recommend you customize all of the copy. Then we go to donation options, and this is where our crowdfunding happens. First, we're going to make sure we have a multi-level donation with custom amount chosen, and then minimum and maximum amount. I would recommend doing a minimum amount of $2 or $3. Patreon did a study that showed that there was no difference in people choosing the $1 or $3 option. So you're essentially leaving money on the table if you have a $1 option. So there's that. I'm going to set the donation limit to 3. And then we'll have custom amount here. The maximum is a very large number. And then we set the donation levels. So on our site, we're going to want some copy to explain each level, but I'm going to do a $3 level. We'll call this the support level. I'll do a $5 or maybe $7 level, and this will be called the add-ons level. And I'm going to set that as the default. And then we'll add one more, a $25. We'll call this the extra level. And then we'll get rid of the 4th one. So we'll just, and the 5th one. So we'll have 3 choices for our donors. And then they'll have the custom amount if they want to add more. Now, as far as the form fields, we can set a default gateway. By default, the test is the test donation is the default gateway, so we'll keep that. And then we will keep all of these the same too. Again, if you want to add or change some of this information, prefix, company donations, anonymous donations. I turned on anonymous donations just in case somebody wanted to keep their name private. Donor comments if you want, and guest donations. So do you want to allow non-logged in users? Yes, definitely. And then you can also choose if you want them to register. I will say don't have them register. We want to make the checkout process as easy as possible for them. Next, you're going to set a goal. I think a goal is a good thing to have. So we can choose our goal in amount raised, percentage raised, number of donations, number of donors. I'm going to set it at amount raised, and I'm going to say my goal here is $5,000. And then you can choose to close the form when you hit your goal. I would recommend keeping that off because why have a limit on who can donate? You can have your terms and conditions. You can decide if you want offline donations. You can customize your Stripe account, which I think is really cool. And you could customize the email notifications, which I would recommend you do at the global level, especially if you're only going to have the one form. But those are all of the donation form settings. We'll give this a name. We'll just call it Crowdfund. We'll click Publish. And now we want to add it to our site. So we can copy the shortcode here, but we're not going to. We're going to go to Pages, and I've already set up a support page. So I'm going to open that. And we're using the block editor here. I'm using the Astra theme. You can use whatever theme you'd like. But I'm going to find the Give block. So we can search for a block here. I'll say Give. We can have the donation form. You can also see there's the donor wall, which is pretty cool. So you can list your donors if you want. I'm going to click Donation Form. I'm going to click Crowdfund. And now we have a little preview of our form here. I'll click Publish. And then we'll view the page. So you can see that this is a nifty JavaScript widget. I would recommend that you test this because you'll need to make sure everything is working properly. So we have number raised, number of donations, our goal, and then a progress bar moving towards our goal. I'll click pledge now. Our default amount is chosen here, so I'll keep with that, but we can also add a custom amount if we want. I'll click continue. We are in test mode, so I have my information here, and you could see that we could donate with test donation, so we could just see how the form works and the whole experience. So I'll click donate, and you could see pretty much the default thank you page. Again, I would strongly recommend that you customize that content, but there we have it. There is the donation form. Now, if we want to add information about the pledges, the way I would recommend you do that is using the columns block in Gutenberg or the block editor. So we will look for the columns block. And there are a few templates here starting in 5.5, but I'll just do columns. And we have 3 different levels, so I'll do that. And then we can add any number of blocks. So I'll add a heading. And then we called the $3 one the support level. We'll make this a heading 4. Actually, we'll make it a heading 3. We'll center it. And then we'll add another heading down here for the price. And we'll make that a heading for, say, $3. Center it. And then we want to add text for what they get, right? So a great big thank you. And we'll center that. And then we'll repeat this process for the other 2 columns. So I'll just do that real quick. Okay, so we have our columns here. Now we can change the width and some of the alignment of each column, but we don't have a lot of design options for the columns without some additional CSS. If you want to really customize your columns, I would actually recommend the price table block by Atomic Blocks. And in WordPress 5.5, we can actually search in the block library for that. So we could say pricing table. We could say browse all. And if it's not found in our library, some blocks will show up. Maybe if we search price, we have some extra options here. But Atomic Blocks is the one that I recommend. So it looks like that's not showing up in the block search, but you can go to plugins, add new, and add that. But for now, we'll leave it here with just vanilla Gutenberg here. And that's it. We'll click update. We'll view the page. And now we have our pricing plans and our donation form. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions about using Give or adding a little extra flavor to Gutenberg and the block editor or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more great content.